Hi everyone, welcome back to the student game, or not student game, sorry, SGDA Summit. This is our closing ceremony. We're done with all the student game showcases for the rest of this night. Um, this is our closing ceremony for the Summit 2025. Again, we'd like to thank all of the speakers and the panelists this year for dedicating the time for the SGDA Summit. We definitely appreciate that they don't. We ask them to help us impart their knowledge to the students every year, and they do this primarily for free. So we want to acknowledge that their efforts and their time is quite valuable to us. This year was definitely a busy year for SGDA in terms of recruiting and making sure that events were running smoothly and properly. And we're definitely running the summit this year on a fairly small crew this year. So we definitely appreciate the quick turnaround for the marketing materials, among other sort of small incidentals that the speakers and the panelists and all of our student game showcase games and their teams have been able to send back to us in a timely manner. We definitely also want to acknowledge what is happening in the industry and just generally worldwide. We understand it's a very hard time, very tough time in the industry right now. We're definitely grateful from the support from speakers, from industry developers, and students alike. It's definitely a tough time, and we don't want to minimize the current struggle that is currently going on with a bunch of layoffs and all the economic noise aside from that. Um, uh, and so, in part, what we'd like to do and what this community allows us to do is to present the SGDA Showcase mini grant, the Student Game Showcase mini grant. In terms of the Student Game Showcase, I'd like to sort of briefly describe what the Student Game Showcase is, or at least the mini grant is about. The mini grant is awarded to the games that showed exemplary creativity, direction, design, programming, anything that we feel like, and I think for our officers that best represent the best of student games development in terms of what can be pushed in terms of the boundaries. The intent of this award is to be used to further develop the game project for these individual teams and potentially support the eventual full release of said game in a commercial manner, and or support any other promotion that they feel like makes sense for them to, you know, find their footing, find their ground in the industry. We'll be awarding one game this year with the mini grant of $100. We'll contact the winners with the details on how they will receive the monetary grant after the summit. So yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but we'll make sure that that gets sent out in a timely manner. Thank you everyone again for the donations. They helped fund these mini grants, and it wouldn't be possible without everyone. Again, please note that it does take a while for the donations, the funds for the donations to settle on the SGDA account. So we'll make sure to email the winners and to make sure that it gets properly sent out. We also want to acknowledge that there may be more developers than what is listed on any of our sort of written materials currently out. We try to make sure that those are all properly updated, but well, we are humans at the end of the day, and so we may miss that sometimes. Okay. Without further ado, Anuj, if you would like to do the honors to help present our winner for the SGDA Student Game Showcase mini grant for Summit 2025.
Of course. The winner for the mini grant for this year, the Summit 2025, is, drumroll please, Love and Bullets. Developed by Chris Wang and Dylan Nguyen, with special thanks to Francesca Mancelas and Sonia Rakipi at UCI, Love and Bullets is a bullet hell with a heart. The SGDA team really liked the clean mechanics and the fun concept. I commented on the writing that genuinely made me chuckle during our showcase slot. We really appreciated what this was for your partner, and we hope that this grant will encourage further development and defeat the mafia and meet your girlfriend. You can play the game right now on itch.io. We'll be keeping updates, and likely next year during the summit we'll be talking about where maybe we'll see more of it at marketing and before the summit itself. So congratulations to the team once again. We'll be sending out the funds once they are properly settled and figuring that out then. Magna, would you like to talk about some other games that we really liked this year?
Yeah, of course. So these are games that we were in heavy debates about in terms of the mini grant, because it's always very hard every year. But one game that we couple games that we wanted to mention. Drive Talk, which is partially by the team behind Love and Bullets, but with more members. Drive Talk was an emotional journey through grief, paired with a unique combination of art styles and taxicab management. We were really impressed with the writing behind Drive Talk, as well as the mystery behind the game overall. And you can currently play the demo on Twitch. And we will link that all in the announcement in a Discord. Pitaya, which is also from UCI. Pitaya is a creative RPG where you play as a cursed little girl with insatiable hunger. And it is you bite monsters, you cook. It's everything you love in an RPG in one place. And we do love the biting monsters aspect of it. And finally, King Scribble, which is from UMBC. King Scribble is a platformer where you literally draw your platforms. We were really impressed with how creative and smooth the mechanics were, and overall was an incredible concept. And we look forward to continued development on all three of these games. And we'll all link them in the Discord. You can also play the games that were featured on our stream on our itch.io, as well as our website for the games that were submitted via our Google form. A lot of these games also have Steam links, so we'll try and include them on the website as well. And we want to emphasize that it's truly hard to pick just one game to grant a mini grant to. All the games that were presented were truly excellent, and we really hope to see them make further progress or further development. If you or your team make significant updates, please, or fully release a game, or even make a new game, please submit it to next year's Summit Showcase or send it over via the Summit Discord server. The officer team, as well as the rest of the SGDA community, would love to see it. We have many people in our community that have submitted either games or art over the past couple years, and it's really fun to see how they've been improved upon overall and how these developers grew.
Sure. I'd also like to take this time to thank all the officers, especially for our summit staff for this year. Our summit staff for this year primarily consisted of Anush, who is our webmaster, and so many other things that you've seen across the summit this year. Megna, who is our marketing lead, and we have some notes here, but Megna's definitely minimizing her total role within SGDA, but she's also does a lot more than I think she gives herself credit for. Eric, who unfortunately couldn't make the summit this year, unfortunately, for the live broadcast, but he's our public relations lead. Definitely, I definitely appreciate everyone part of the summit staff. It's definitely not possible without everyone as part of the summit staff, and so again, thanks to everyone. And I'd also like to thank all of our other officers. Emmanuel, who's our public relations officer, Nicolette, who is our events lead, and then Jules and Mark, who are also part of our events team for SGDA. Again, SGDA is a completely volunteer-run organization, and so we definitely rely upon every officer and any volunteer which assists us to reach our mission goal in trying to make sure that student developers are able to better realize and fully realize their potential within the games industry. I'd also like to take this time to thank everyone here, you, the audience, because you took your time out of your weekend, which you would tip. I think for a lot of you, it's summertime at this point during your summer break or the summer right before your first official job. So definitely thank you for taking the time and watching all of the panels, talks, and this Dune Game Showcase. We really appreciate your support. And we hope to see you next time for the summit. Megna, Noosh, did you have any other sort of thoughts in terms of the summit as a whole for this year?
Magda, feel free to go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll take some time formulating.
Well, I think like this. So this is for context. This is my 4th year now organizing the summit, and I think this is the first summit where we were definitely. I mean, we've been running on a skeleton crew for a while, but I think this is the first time where the summit was. I think we didn't really have a lot of huge hiccups in terms of like the events planning part of it, which I think is really cool. Thank you to all the speakers that responded or signed up via our link tree and took time out of their day to attend the event. And this event is always really fun to help organize because I get to see like what all the other schools do for their games programs, especially now since I'm now graduated. I'm officially out of school after like 6-7 years of being in it. So crazy work.
Similarly, it's my 4th or 5th year. I remember joining SGDA after the 2020 summit and being like, "Wow, this is cool. I sure would like to run this, help run this event." And it's now been 4 years of helping to run it. Like Magna said, despite the fact that we had a really small crew working on this year, I think that it went really well. Again, you guys make it so hard to pick a mini grant winner. It's never easy. I'm always like, ah. And also similarly to Magna, I just graduated as well, and that is my master's. So you will have to pay me to do school again. I'm not going to pay for school ever again. Yeah, listen again. They will pay me. I'm not going to pay for this again. But seriously, thank you guys so much for our speakers, audience, and just the members of SGDA for helping make this event such a big thing this year and all the other years. But yeah.
I think I've exhausted. I think what I've had to say. I think again, it's definitely honor for me to be able to help better showcase student games and student game developers, and help to connect everyone to industry developers, just so that it's, I think, especially in this current climate, in this current world, I think definitely better cooperation and better organization, I think, is really important, and I think hopefully will be a guiding force to everyone, either in our broadcast team or in our audience. So it's something that we highly value, and I think hopefully we will continue to demonstrate into the future. We also want to do some very small housekeeping things. We want to remind everyone that the VODs for the stream for both today and yesterday will be available on YouTube. After a little time, we do have to very minorly edit all the videos and make sure to see if we can fix some of the issues that were happening during the summit itself. We will also be shortly announcing open applications for SGDA officership, among anything else. It does take us a little bit of time, and we try to make sure that our officers do take enough of a break for so that they're not completely burned out. The summit is always usually somewhat of a crunch towards that. So we'll definitely be searching for officers just generally, and we'll also have a summit specific one because the summit is, as I've said earlier, and as we can see here, it's a little bit of an effort, and we need to make sure that we are properly supporting our officers, whether professionally or in any other manner. Aside from that, we'd like to also bring to attention that you should be on the lookout for any future SGA events that we might have in our Discord. I think we'll make sure to repost the link to the main SGA Discord in the Summit Discord, so we'll post it there. We typically try to host socials, we try to host game jams, but yeah, we'll definitely try to get you those events as soon as we can. But aside from that, I think from our team to everyone here in the Summit 2025 Day 2, we'd like to wish you all a good night, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, catch you guys later.
See you next year for 10. Because
Bye-bye now.